John Marshall was the fourth Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States. His court opinion helped lay the basis for the U.S. constitutional laws. He used to be the leader of the Federalist Party in Virginia and served in the U.S. House of Representatives for 1 year.
In 1816, Congress decided to form the Second Bank of the United States with branch offices in multiple locations. Many states opposed the National Bank because this meant that the state banks would need to compete for business. In response, Maryland passed a law that heavily taxed all the banks and financial institutions in the state, which included federal banks. In 1819, James McCulloch, the bank's cashier, refused to pay the tax because he argued that it was unconstitutional to tax the national government. The case ended in his favor.
In 1816, Congress funded the Second Bank of the United States. In 1818, the Maryland legislature passed an act to tax any banks operated within the borders of the state, which also included the federal banks. In 1819, the case between McCulloch and Maryland was held as McCulloch refused to pay the tax.
The significant figures in this case were John Marshall, Luther Martin, Daniel Webster, William Pinckney, and James McCulloch. John Marshall, as a Chief Justice, stated that imposing taxes on a national institution was unconstitutional. Luther Martin argued for Maryland's right to impose the taxes on the bank. Daniel Webster and William Pinckney argued the case on behalf of the bank and McCulloch. James McCulloch was the one who started it all. He was the National Bank's cashier and refused to pay the Maryland tax. The Supreme Court case, McCulloch v. Maryland, allowed Congress the power to establish a national bank. It also denied states the power to tax branches of national institutions that carried out powers stated in the Constitution.
The case affirmed that Congress has the right to exceed the enumerated powers explicitly stated in the constitutions. It is still relevant today because many people argue that the federal government should not be able to go beyond the powers enumerated in the constitutions, but that argument failed in the Supreme Court in 1819. We haven't had a strict interpretations of constitutional powers in 192 years.